And here it is. It's the A6400. Do you want it? Do you need it? Most importantly, should you buy it? This one is a bit Marmite. It's got its pros, but it's certainly got its cons. Firstly, the price. It's coming in good. It's affordable. And in the world of Sony, there's very few things that are truly affordable. But yeah, this is a good place to be. So let's have a little look at what we get with the package in this one. Well, autofocus, 425 phase detection autofocus points. Impressive, very nice. And even the A6000 had good autofocus for me, certainly better than the A7 and the A7 II. So I kind of preferred the A6000 really to the original A7 and the A7 II. It was more of a pleasure to shoot with for what I was doing, which is more fast moving things, not really landscape or anything. Silent continuous shooting, 8 frames per second. Nice if you need it. And if you need it and you really need it, you might be better off going with the A9 if you're purely buying the camera just for that feature. Maybe you're taking pictures on movie sets or golf competitions, for example. Real-time eye autofocus, real-time tracking. Yeah, I've seen some demos of this and gotta say, seems to be working good. So far, so good. It's all looking very nice indeed. Incredible image quality. Yeah, I mean, we've never had any huge problems with the image quality on these 24.2 megapixel. So it's just, I think you know pretty much what you're going to expect. Cleaner images, even in dim light. Yeah, I mean, it's never going to replace a full frame, but it's APS-C. You kind of know what you're getting yourself into there. 4K movie recording. That's fine. But there's no 4K 60, and I hear ya. Yeah, okay. It's not the most expensive camera in the world, but it's 2019 now, and you can only really think that they're holding it back for the A7S III, presumably. There's not really any reason why you can't go 4K 60. By all means, maybe limit it because of heat, possibly. Limit it 15 minutes. But there's no 4K 60. Bit of a downside. However, on the flip side, they've removed the 29-minute recording limit, so this could be ideal as a B camera or even a C camera, having the back of a wedding, for example. Now, I believe there's only going to be cropping if you're at 30p. The 24 and the 25p seem to be crop free from what I'm seeing so far. And then we come to the LCD monitor, and it flips and it doesn't dim when you are using 4K, which was a big problem. You could never really see it when you were recording 4K. Now, if you really are a vlogger on YouTube, one of the things that I'll tell you is the audio is more important than the picture. And when you've got that flipped up, you can't run any of the bigger microphones, although you might be able to get away with some of the much smaller Rode microphones. You might be able to get that on there with the screen up, albeit it won't be the best quality as the bigger professional battery powered microphones, it'll still be better than the built-in one. So a lot of people are saying, oh, you can't plug a mic in. You see, the problem is if you put it on the side, you're going to get the problem of the mic jack then. So it's kind of a trade-off. I reckon you could plug a small mic in and just push it as far forward as possible. You might be able to get away with that, but when we get them in, we'll be able to do a bit more of a test. Handy touch screen, which is going to be the same kind of one as what you're seeing now, especially like on the A7 III, for example. Customized buttons, of course. And if we have a look now at the back of the camera, how about inputs then? What have we got? Well, of course, you have your microphone jack, as we've just been discussing. You can now charge this with USB charging, but it is USB 2. There is no headphone jack. To be expected, probably. You know, they are going to be putting that on their higher end model, keeping stuff back for the higher end model. So you might be thinking, this might be worth a bag of sand, $1,000. So they put me pre-order in. Just before you do, let me leave you with two of my personal biggest disappointments. That's number one, it still uses the same battery before the newer full-framed ones moved over to which is now the far superior battery. Now that's fine if you've got a load hanging around, but if you're buying this to maybe then move up to the bigger full frames, you've got to change your battery. If you're using this as a C camera, it's a different battery. It's a little bit annoying, but you could get around it if you really wanted to bother. The other problem, there's no in-body image stabilization. That's fine if you can use a lens that has it. If one of those lenses with in-body stabilization takes your fancy, you might have a good pairing here. But for me, I don't like many of the image stabilized lenses because I don't really like the APS-C lenses. You see, if you're going to have this as a C camera, you're probably going to be using your full frame lenses on it. It's fine. I see this looking quite fine with the 55 Zeiss. If you are in the APS-C system altogether and you can use the 50, which is stabilized, that's fine. It's not one of my favorite lenses, to be honest, but if you can get away with using that, then go for it. Now, if you're using it for video on a tripod, then you can get away with it, but they put the flip up screen, so you're thinking this is going to be for vlogging, right? So you really ideally want it as a very wide angle, so you might be good with the APS-C wide angle. That might be one that you could put on here and get away with, but let's see just how shaky it really is. And there we have it. This is the A6400. What I want to know the most though is, are you interested? Are you going to be buying this? Or are you holding on for what's hopefully going to be the higher end model? And I really have to see 4K 60 for my wallet to break out. And as usual guys, it's been emotional.